pleading for help. A baby that screams and screams and never seems to sleep is exhausting and frustrating, as all of you have told us. Many of you are at your wits' end and you just don't know what to do. Well, here to offer some helpful advice is child expert Dr. Penelope Leach. Good morning, Penelope. Good morning. Many people are going to be delighted to see you this morning, and they really need your help. I mean, you know that situation, don't you?
I do. I mean, sympathy more than help at the very beginning, because there is nothing like that feeling of going through your days knowing that your top treat in the world would be to get your head down for 6 unbroken hours. I mean, I so much agree with what was said by the sleep expert earlier. It is the broken sleep that's so murderous.
Killer,
it's
yes.
not the hours. It's being woken maybe 3 or 4 times in the night, night after night, week after week, month after month. It's the worst aspect of being a parent for many people.
And possibly seeing no light at the end of the tunnel. It seems to just go on and on.
Yes, and also anger too, because can't this baby see that I am exhausted, I need to sleep, I can't be a good parent in the day because I'm not getting any nights. At the very beginning, though, I think the comfort is the other way around. I think sometimes people frustrate themselves, get themselves uptight, because they expect more rhythmical, routine, long period sleeping from new babies than they're actually going to get. I sometimes wish we were kangaroos and that we carried our new babies in pouches, because really for the first 4, 5, 6 weeks, babies aren't going to give you 4 hours at a time. They aren't going to take big separate feeds and have good sound nights and give you a break. The easy way, I think, to cope with those early weeks is, as near as you can, carry that baby around with you, let him drop off, wake up, suck, go to sleep again, and try not to say to yourself, he ought to be having a feed, he ought to be asleep, I only fed him an hour ago. It doesn't matter, go with it. I think that's the easy way to kick off.
So you go with the first 5 or 6 weeks, and then what? Do you, to try and establish some routine that the baby can...
Well, yes, sleep, for all of us, I think, is very much a part of habit. I mean, look at right now, we've just changed the clocks. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm still waking spot on the time I would wake if we hadn't put the clocks forward, right? We do sleep on the whole when we expect to sleep, and you can start building that up much earlier than people realise. But there's a trick here with babies that I think is actually quite important and means making decisions early. If you always put a baby to sleep, whether by letting her suck herself to sleep or by rocking her to sleep or whatever, you wait until she's fast asleep in your arms and then you put her in the bassinet and back off. If you always do that, that baby won't learn how to get herself from the relaxed and sleepy into the full got out.
Because you've done it for her.
Because you've done it for her. And the trouble with that is, every time she wakes in the night, and we all wake in the night, let's face it, she's going to need you to put her back to sleep. Even months later, she's not going to be a child who can turn herself over, snuggle herself down, get comfortable and go off again. She doesn't know how. She's going to have to cry for you to come and put me back to sleep again. So building up routines and sort of bedtime rituals from really quite early, like from 4 or 5 months, so that the baby sees when sleep time's coming up. You know, you get a couple of songs, you have your bath, you have your last feed, you get your nappy changed, you carried round to say goodnight to the pictures, draw the curtains, whatever. Everybody does it their own way. And then, very sleepy but not quite asleep, you go in the cot. It's a good way to begin.
If they do then start crying when you put them down in the cot, do you leave them to cry?
I don't, because I can't. And I think
many mothers, I think, and fathers will find that they can't.
Exactly. And I think that trying tends to make everybody awfully unhappy. But I think you have to realise that if you go back to your baby because she's crying and she ought to be asleep, that doesn't mean you give up. You don't pick her up and take her back downstairs. You go back just to say, it's all right, sleep time, I'm still here, I'll come if you need me, but now it's the night. You pat her, in other words, you stroke the back of her head, you rock her a little bit, whatever it is you do, and you go away again. You might have to do that 4 or 5 times, but what you're saying to that baby is, it's the end of today, no way am I going to get you up again and take you downstairs to play. But you're not deserted, you don't have to lie there and cry in panic. Can I just say the reason I would never leave a baby crying is that later you want bed to be a nice place. You want it to be a place your toddler goes quite willingly, with his stuffed animals and his books and this and that. You don't want a cot to be a prison. And if you never let it be a prison, I think that works better later on.
Penelope, thank you very much. I hope you've been able to help some of the parents at home. I mean, it is
it's not an easy one.
Not an easy problem, but
it ends. It does end. Believe us, it ends.
You've got many more tips as well in your book, I must say. So if anyone is still not satisfied, then they can take a look at your book. Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Now, one of the most traditional ways, of course, of sending a child to sleep is to sing a lullaby. These pictures come from a book of lullabies, poems and cradle songs called Sweet Sleep, and I think you'll agree they're very pretty.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder.
Now tell me, how many colours count as a bite?
Only Smarties have the answer.
Sweet.
Walking down the street.
Emergency.
Sam is trapped in his cab, hit by a tree. Send for help, in a hurry. Corgi Luggers, no need to worry. Different bodies, clip off, clip on. Out you come, Sam. Off you go, John. Corgi Luggers, a great new range. That build and change. Build and change. Build and change. New Corgi Luggers.
While you're keeping in great condition, here's a colorant that does the same for your hair. Nice and easy with Condition Plus. Natural-looking color with body and shine no other long-lasting colorant can beat. Nice and easy from Clairol. The way to stay in great condition from head to toe.
All this week in a TVAM exclusive, we go behind the scenes of Home and Away to reveal how one of TV's most popular soaps is made. Meet the leading characters and find out what they're like in real life as they talk about their plans for the future. We introduce you to some of the new residents of Summer Bay, like Danny Minogue, Kylie's sister. There's Grant Mitchell, better known as Henry Ramsey, and a dizzy blonde named Marilyn. The Secrets of Home and Away, all this week, only on TVAM.
Hello again, it's time to exercise with Lizzie. Over to Lizzie.
Ah, hello, and it certainly is. Wake up from that lullaby. Now, we're going from babies and them not sleeping to actually what do you do once you've had a baby and you've had a caesarean? Now, our guest this morning is Pat Hogan, who's actually had a caesarean, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Now, how long did it take you to get back into shape?
It's taken me a long time.
Why is that?
Because I didn't exercise the first time around.
Naughty, naughty girl. So we're going to give you the exercises she should have done. Now, I was talking to Dr. Roy McGregor about this. In the first couple of weeks, you should be very, very careful and consult your doctor before you exercise, Pat. And then for the first weeks up to 12 weeks, these are 3 simple, easy exercises you can attempt. Tomorrow we'll show you the harder ones once you're past those 12 weeks, all right? So come on, join us down on the floor. Feet and knees apart to protect the spine, and lie down. Place your hands, Pat, on your stomach to try and find where the muscles will be regained.
Yes, I've got
and
it.
all you do first of all is clench the stomach muscles by pushing the base of the spine, that curve of the spine, into the floor. Hold it and relax. Push down. Now, as you push down, you'll see the pelvis tilting.
Yes, I feel it, yeah.
Can you feel that, Pat?
Yes.
And then relax. And again, push the small of the back into the ground. Hold it. Stomach muscles work.
Yes.
And then relax. Now, Pat, bring up your knees. Up they come and down. And again, push the spine into the floor. Clench the stomach muscles and down. Now this time, Pat, raise them. Place your hands just below your knees.
Yes.
Now, can you uncurl the spine and sit up?
Oh, yes.
How does that feel?
Okay, moment.
And down. That's a slightly stifled okay.
Yes.
If anything hurts, you don't do it.
Okay.
You hold that position and then relax. Now, for the third exercise, the third gentle one, opposite hand on the knee and down. Up you come. How How's that feeling?
Okay, it's pulling just a little bit.
If it pulls too much, you don't do
Lizzie
it.
and Pat, thank you very much. More of that tomorrow. Right now, Mike's got some more news for us.
Yes, let's find out straight away the latest from Strangeways prison in Manchester, where the rioting has continued. We can join our reporter Martin Frizzell for the latest. Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, Mike. For the last time from Strangeways, this is live on the rooftop. The demonstrators are still there. They're still picking up slates and throwing them down into the yard below, where prison officers are trying to contain the damage. There are still between 150 and 200 prisoners on the rampage inside, loose, out of control. John Bartlett, the chairman of the Prison Officers Association, has just been here. He says this riot was predicted a few days before it happened. He's blaming the government and the authorities here for not drafting in enough prison warders to stop the damage. From Strangeways for this morning, good morning.
Thank you, Martin Frizzell from Manchester.
So,
And tomorrow. Well, serious news. The programme's been obviously concentrating on the events on Saturday and then the events again at Strangeways on Sunday. Serious stuff.
yes, well, on After 9, we're slightly more light-hearted. Tomorrow we're looking at what you ought to be wearing in bed. So that could be an interesting
John
subject.
Travolta takes up top of the bill.
That would be a good one. Looking
And
forward to that.
also, Mike, do you snore? Do you know whether you snore or not?
It has been known, but obviously there have been official denials.
Well, I grind my teeth, apparently, so I'm told. We're talking tomorrow on After 9 about what you do when you're asleep. Snoring, teeth grinding, sleepwalking, and probably a host of all other things as well.
Seems more important than ever to say first news of the day. Join Linda at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, if you can make it, you know, definitely worth it. And then, of course, we prepare the show for you too.
Absolutely. Home and Away as well. We've got Home and Away,
Yes.
our behind-the-scenes look.
Yes. And while we think about all that, Kathy can prepare for our next marathon.
Yes, I'm just going to do an easy couple of miles today and have a little leg massage.
That's
as
right,
well. I
how
think
you
I'm a
do
bit stiff.
We're going to have a cup of coffee, eh?
Contradiction in terms, isn't it? Easy couple of miles. Sounds like a marathon to me. All right.
See you tomorrow.
Good morning. This is Anglia on Monday, the 2nd of April.
Hello, good morning. On This Morning at 10:40 today, we're dealing with a subject which frightens most men, even though most men will experience it at some point in their lives, some of them seriously. It's impotence.
Yes, it's a subject surrounded, isn't it, by taboo, but we hope to be lifting that a bit on this morning at 10:40. We'll be having two experts in the studio, one on the physical causes of impotence, one on the psychological causes. Now, Mike Scott in London.
You will know that this weekend there was a demonstration in London against the poll tax. You will also know that, unfortunately, it developed into major violence. We discussed that at 10 o'clock on the time and the place.
Thank you, Mike. We'll join you for that. A number of guests on this morning. We'll be talking to Derek Hatton about his image as a Playboy.
And Susan Brooks and Charles Metcalfe brighten up your love life with some aphrodisiac eats and drinks. See you 10:40.